Welcome back, everybody, to TB Sports 27. The Utah Utes have completed a second consecutive undefeated season, 36 consecutive wins, back-to-back national championships. We got a cool back-to-back national title trophy, which I didn't know about. So if you want to see that, check it out because we kept the cameras rolling in between episodes on our Twitch channel. So if you're not joining us live on Twitch, you missed all the conversation in between, but don't worry. If you want to see it, the entire stream is up early and ad-free for Clubhouse members on our Patreon page. But right now, look at this. A school record breaker, Kevin Hayes, who is one of only two Heisman Trophy winners in the history of Utah football. His record has fallen to Bill Bradford, who was the backup running back 2 years ago, and he still does not even have better stats. He is lower ranked than Aaron Price, but he has come in and as the number 2 running back has taken over as the top guy, and look at that, a nice 69-yard career, and he's only a junior. He could still come back for his senior year. I'm not anticipating that happening, but he has defeated a Heisman Trophy winning Kevin Hayes. We're going to look at all the stats as well in this final episode. Yes, we're going to make the save happen, so do not worry. But we're going to look at all the bowl results here. We're going to look at the stats. Look at that. I didn't realize that, or maybe I did. Or OC Matt Canada. He's with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. So how about that? How about the big business in this one? All right, this is the wrap-up show. So we're going to look at all the bowl results. We're going to look at the final standings. I don't know if we showed you the Heisman or not, but here it is. Kyle Harris won the Heisman, and Joe Rushing beat him. Dennis Bonner beat him in the Rose Bowl. Clint Prater beat him in the national championship game. Just roughed all these guys up. No problem. Big business. All-Americans, I don't know. Do we care about that? We can look real quick. Since this is kind of a wrap-up, you can see we had a left tackle. There's Bonner there on Tennessee. That was All-American. Here's all our guys on defense. Eric Lambert. Lee Anderson. So Lambert's going to come back for another year. Lee Anderson coming back for another year. Bryant Harper, senior. He had some big games down the stretch here. And Andrew Fowler as well. Oh my God, this whole list is Utah. Brandon Charles on defense, a junior. And there's Joe Davis. Give us one more year, Joe. Come on back. Oh my God, all these guys on defense. Jonathan Barrett, Tim Wright, Try Bonner. And a lot of these guys, my God, I mean, sophomore, junior. We could get this record. We got WX Man in the chat ready to wrap this one up. We could win another championship, right? We could, if everyone comes out. Who won? Utah won 15-0. 15-0, baby. Utah back-to-back national champs. So we're doing the wrap-up here. Wrap this, the Heisman, the All-Americans, award winners. We kind of checked those already on a previous stream, so go look at them. The score 21-3. 21-3 score. Both quarterbacks got knocked out. Justin Nelson. There's Prater. He got knocked around. Joe Davis. And we looked at these already, so go check it out, patreon.com/TBSports27. While we're here, there it is. Support the channel, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Patreon to see all the previous awards and all that fun stuff. We are going to look at the stats and all that Jim Jazz. And it is up at our Patreon page, so patreon.com. We're about to look at all the bowl scores, WX Man, so hang out where you are and become a Patreon supporter if you want to see some of the awards and all that stuff that we've done. Because we got bonus stuff, past stuff, all up there. So check it out. Yes, you can do that as well. Like WX Man said, by going there and by also checking out Streamlabs and Ko-Fi. So check it out, WX Man, if you want to go on streamlabs.com/TBSports27. You know, you don't have to pay. It's completely up to you. But we have a bunch of different levels on Patreon, ranging from $5 up to $20. So check it out. Streamlabs and Ko-Fi can be whatever you want to give out there. So bowl results, 100. You can give 100. You'd get a big shout out if you put $100 in our Ko-Fi or our Streamlabs jar. You get a big shout out. Streamlabs.com, TB Sports, Ko-Fi.com/TB Sports. You would be forever indebted. You probably get a shout out from here to the end of time on my streams. All right, these are the bowl results. We're going to go one by one. Remember, these are the bowl games that we put together using the college football revamp tool. And last year when we did this, we had some really close competitive bowl matchups. So let's see if we went 2 for 2 with our bowl games. And we start off with a very competitive one. Purdue, winners of the Gildan White T-Shirt New Mexico Bowl over Boise State. Boise State will be returning to the Mountain West Conference after this season when college football goes through its realignment here. Coming up, famous Idaho Potato Bowl, a close one. Western Michigan, how about some Maction? 38-35. I think Maction's going on right now as we're streaming this one. You guys want some live scores while we're streaming? For those of you watching live on Twitch, Maction, of course, going on right now, and if we can actually get today's scores, it is Miami, Ohio 3, Buffalo 0, Ohio 17, Central Michigan 0. So there you go. Poinsettia Bowl blowout. Oregon knocking off 9-4 New Mexico Lobos. Oregon, they're off to the Big Ten after this season, so they're going the right way. Beef O'Brady's Bowl, Pitt dominates UCF at the Trop at Tropicana Field. Gasparilla Beef O'Brady's 42-19. The New Orleans Bowl, the Sun Belt Conference champions got Penn State. A good reward for the Sun Belt champions, but Penn State gets the win 48-38 in that one. The Mako Bowl, Las Vegas, we had the Mountain West co-champions in Utah State come up just short against Cal. The Golden Bears are going to finish 10-3. They head to the ACC next season. We have the Hawaii Bowl. We have the other champions of the Mountain West, Colorado State. They get the big win over West Virginia. Maybe a long trip for West Virginia. Maybe too long for them. They were jet-lagged. 42-30 victory. Nice win for Colorado State. The Little Caesars Pizza Bowl out in Motor City Ford Field. Temple gets the win over Nevada, so we're starting to get some blowouts here. North Carolina with the win over Miami, Ohio in the Military Bowl. God bless the troops, right? Holiday Bowl, there's a close one. This was the one of two teams battling for respect. Both teams coming in with just 3 losses, but were overlooked for a lot of big bowl games, so they paired off against each other in the Holiday Bowl, and it was a competitive Holiday Bowl. Washington gets the win. They were fighting for respect all year. I couldn't even put Washington in the top 25 because the college football revamp tool would not allow me to do it, by God. And unranked, but they're going to finish 11-3, and they are also headed to the Big Ten next season, so they'll be moving on there. The Belk Bowl, Louisville knocks off the home team. Now the Duke's Mayo Bowl, 34-24. Louisville Cardinals get the win. The Wolves, the Battle of the Wolves. The Wolf Pack beat the Red Wolves by 6. North Carolina State, the win over Arkansas State. Arkansas State spent some years in the Big 12, but they'll be headed back to the Sun Belt Conference after this when realignment goes down. Syracuse, they finish off with a Russell Athletic Bowl win in Orlando over the inaugural College Football Playoff national champs. They get the win over Georgia Tech. Meineke Car Care Bowl at Texas, Cincinnati getting the win in that one. They're going to be joining us in the Big 12 next season, so we got some stiff competition there. There's a preview of the future Big 12 with Oklahoma State and Cincinnati going at it in the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Armed Forces Bowl was a competitive one. Tulsa getting win number 7 with their victory over the UMass Minutemen. We have the Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl out west, and BYU, who will be in the Big 12. They defeat Washington State. Washington State, Oregon State's going to be interesting because you can't delete conferences, and I'm pretty sure you can't go less than 4 teams in a conference. So if we're going to do this whole realignment thing, Washington State, Oregon State, and we got to pick 2 other random teams, maybe like Idaho or New Mexico State or something. But they got to be at least 4 teams in a conference, and you can't delete a conference. So the Pac-12 is going to look kind of weird with just 4 teams, but I have kind of an idea with how we'll work around that situation with them being a 4-team conference. But Washington State, yeah, they take the loss there. Alamo Bowl, another game between teams with 3 losses, and Nebraska blows out USC. USC was 10-2 coming into this one, and they were a team that, even though they took the loss to Fresno, they were kind of making the claim that we should have been in the college football playoff. That just scared the hell out of my cat when I did that. And USC, though, for all the talk, they take the loss. And Nebraska, they'll be headed back to the Big Ten after this. They were in the Big 12 for a couple of years here. And it'll be nice because the teams that gave us trouble are Nebraska, Texas. They're out of here. So they get the win over USC. USC will be joining the Big Ten. So those teams both on the move. Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, the Cactus Bowl in Arizona. Texas, they get the win over Northwestern, and they will be leaving us and headed to the SEC after this season. Music City Bowl, SEC, ACC matchup. Mississippi State gets the win 35-31. Georgia State will head to the Sun Belt. They will leave the ACC because the ACC's got to make room for Cal and Stanford and all those teams. In the Sun Bowl, Alabama gets the win over Clemson 44-24. In the Liberty Bowl, a nice high-scoring close matchup. Ole Miss sending Oklahoma out of the Big 12 with a loss, 35-28, Oklahoma to the SEC. And we have our first New Year's Six bowl game, and it was a competitive one. Auburn finishes the season at 11-2, and maybe could have made a run at a college football playoff. The thing that kept them out was obviously not winning the SEC championship, coming up just short against the Tennessee Volunteers. But Fresno State goes down by 2 as they were in the college football playoff last season. Peach Bowl champions, the Auburn Tigers of the SEC. The Heart of Dallas Bowl, Michigan State in a nice battle with Notre Dame. They get the win 31-28. Gator Bowl, those are the most points we've seen. Iowa, who was left out of the college football playoff last season, number 5 in the nation, number 16 this year. They blow out Southern Miss, who has been in the SEC. Southern Miss, along with Southern Miss, Memphis, and we had one other team in the SEC. But they're going to be leaving too. Southern Miss is going to join the Sun Belt after their SEC run, finishing up at 7-6. Capital One Bowl, Florida State going at it again in a rematch, and Florida State wins 45-31 in Orlando in the Citrus Bowl. So a nice win for Florida State over Florida in that one. Outback Bowl. Well, Maryland didn't have a bowl bid. They were 7-5. We found a spot for them against Minnesota in the Outback Bowl, and Minnesota crushed them. Now, Maryland in real life is in the Big Ten with Minnesota. In our world, they are not, but Maryland will be joining the Big Ten after this to match their real-life counterpart. So we'll see. Minnesota's been a New Year's Bowl competitor, a New Year's Six competitor the last couple of years. Can they keep, they were a little down this year, but we'll see if they can get back 9-4, if they can crawl back into that Rose Bowl. They beat us for a Rose Bowl, for God's sakes. There you see at the Rose Bowl game, there was Utah defeating Tennessee 14-7, getting the win there. The Fiesta Bowl in Miami. Wow, Miami, they might make their claim now. So there's going to be some controversy. College football playoff, and we ask you guys, do you guys want to see us move to a 12-team playoff? I want to do this for at least 2 more seasons before the new game comes out. We're going to realign the conferences to make them look like real life, But do you guys want to see us continue on with the 4-team playoff or move to the 12-team playoff like they're doing in real life? Future conference rivals in the ACC, Stanford will be joining the ACC, but Miami, they were left out. They finished 12-2. They were the ACC champions. We have a vote for WX Man saying go to the 12-team playoff. Okay, so we got one vote for the 12-team. There's controversy because Miami was the ACC champs. They were in the college football playoff 2 years ago, and they got beat by Navy in the opening round. And no, Kansas won't make it. They're still terrible in this game. But Miami got left out, and they were the ACC champs. They were 11-2? Yeah, they were 11-2, but they got left out over Texas State. People said Texas State shouldn't be there. They played a bad schedule. They were in Conference USA, but Miami had 2 losses. If Miami had 1 loss, committee might have put them in. But bottom line, Texas State got blown out, and Miami blew out Stanford in their neck of the woods on the West Coast. So a lot of controversy there. We could have had Miami versus Utah and Ohio State versus Tennessee, but we didn't get it. And Miami, they got a lot of yapping to do. Either way, I mean, Utah 15-0, but Miami thinking they should have been in the college football playoff. But we got at least one vote. I think SK Money said 14 playoff. WX Man says 12. So we'll see what the consensus is as we go forward. There you see Ohio State blowing out Texas State 38-14 in that semifinal game. The Orange Bowl was a close one in Arkansas, who was once number 1 in the nation until they met the Utah Utes on the field. They defeat the South Florida Bulls down in Miami Gardens 21-13. So the SEC runners-up there, Arkansas, who were they in the title game, or was Auburn against Tennessee? Don't even remember. Don't know. Someone let me know in the archives. But either way, Arkansas gets the win for the SEC. So Arkansas and Auburn getting wins in the New Year's Six, while the Tennessee Vols losing the Rose Bowl game. Cotton Bowl, SMU dominated. Boy, oh boy, Southern Methodist gets destroyed. They played Notre Dame close last year in the Cotton Bowl, but this year Wisconsin was another team that was hoping to upset Ohio State and get into the college football playoff. Wisconsin winning the national championship a number of years ago, and they were in the inaugural college football playoff playing Georgia Tech, where they came up just short, but a big beatdown. So for the mid-majors, not a good run for them, because it's just been domination after domination. Colorado, Coach Prime, 41-35 in Birmingham. In the GoDaddy Bowl, Virginia Tech, another blowout here as Kent State, the champs of the MAC, get dominated by Virginia Tech, the runners-up in the ACC, 38-7. And then, of course, your national championship, Utah, 15-0, 21-3. Wow, so, boy, the mid-majors here, the group of 5, blowout. I mean, Big East, we really don't consider them a mid-major, but Texas State blown out. I'm going to go through them all here really quick. Of the smaller conference teams, the group of 5, but there were, I mean, big-time blowouts all the way across the board. In fact, from conference champions. East Carolina's in the Big East, so they're not. Miami, Ohio took the loss right there. Colorado State, I think that's your one group of 5 that actually got a win against a power conference team in a bowl game, but the rest of the way, it was the power conferences that dominated. There's another blowout there, so a lot of work to do. Western Michigan got a win there over the power conference. Well, F that. So, a lot of work to do, because going into the next season, we're going to realign the college football standings. We're going to do it just like how they're doing it in real life, meaning we have to create kind of like a new group of 5 that at least one of them is going to get a bid. If we do the 12-team playoff, they'll get in, but you're seeing a lot of blowouts here. So it wasn't good, but that is going to wrap it up here. We're done. In the books. Yeah, we had the cigar earlier with SK Money from Cigars. Get a cigar, get your Bluetooth, get your Blue Chew, get your bourbon out. Utah's the national champs. Next time we stream with you, we're going to do the off-season coaching carousel. We're going to see the new conferences, 12-team playoff, 4-team playoff. Let me know in the comments down below. But that's going to do it here for TB Sports. Thank you so much, WX Man. Congrats to the Utes. And we're coming for Oklahoma's record next. That's what we got, 30. Does it show us how many wins in a row we've gotten? Because we got 36 wins in a row. But the one we're coming for NCAA record. Oh, fiddle, I don't care about a game. For not season. Coaching career. There it is. Longest winning streak. Oklahoma, 47 wins in a row. We have 36 right now. So that streak is in jeopardy. If we go undefeated again next season, 3 seasons in a row, that's very hard to do. We will break the Oklahoma record. We need one more to tie, what is that, Bear Bryant with 6. We're at 5 right now, so we would tie Bear Bryant. This is 90 to 46. That's got to be Joe Paterno, right? FBS coach, I think. Or someone else. That's Joe Paterno there. What's FBS? Coach FBS. Coach Gaines. I don't know. Either way, I don't even know if we can break some of these records because I think the game caps you at like 30 seasons or whatever. But either way, some of the records, go ahead and pause and take a look at. There's Brandon Cox. He's got to deal with Blue Chew. Cox out there. And some of the single game records and individual team records that Utah has got all up and down the line, including another Brandon Cox record there. So that's going to do it. Utah Utes off season. Next time we got NFL 2K5 with the Washington Commanders. JP Lossman is in because Mark Bolger is injured. We're going to go back to playing the Denver Broncos with Tom Brady III, Super Mario Wonder, college basketball. Good stuff coming up on TB Sports 27. Get you a bourbon, get you a smoke, and we'll see you guys next time.